Once, road sweeping was what you did if you couldn't get a better job. Now, almost 1,500 people apply.
There are 1,460 applicants. There are going to be winners, there are going to be losers. I've got to make that decision, unfortunately.
I'm just a normal run-of-the-mill person who wants a job.
I want to work when I get out there, and I want to feel like I've done a day's work.
12 months ago, I'd have been insulted. Now, I hope I get it.
Once upon a time, parents warned their children that if they didn't work hard, they'd end up sweeping the streets. Now, they'd be lucky to get the job. Tonight, we're going to follow the competition for a road sweeper's job to a surprising conclusion. Manchester City Council has advertised for road sweepers. There are just 20 jobs. 1,460 people have applied. We'll be watching the trials of 7 of the candidates. Will any of them be lucky? If you're unemployed, this might look like a great job. You don't need any qualifications or experience. It's pretty secure. And the pay, £193 a week, is a lot better than the dole. But though many want it, few can have it.
Right.
These are the men who will decide. Cleansing manager Dennis Pennell and his assistant Mark Hoban. They have been told to appoint 5 of the new sweepers. They've hundreds of applications to sift through.
I've no doubt in my mind that literally everyone who's applied could do the job. There's no reason whatsoever why they couldn't do it. The thing that they've got to remember is that it is critical that they do fill the application form correctly. Next one.
Mr. Ferguson.
Ferguson, Anthony John Ferguson. I and my wife and friends fell walk most weekends. I also run twice a week.
It's very muddy. I'm in good condition. For 55, I'm not bad, you know. I worked 39 years in the same trade, tool making, fitting. I was redundant in 1990, and I've been out since. They said at the Department of Employment, we think you should lower your sights. I said, if I lower my sights, I'll shoot my bloody foot off. You know, you can't, I mean, you can do no more than be willing to go labouring.
Next one. John Joseph Riley. Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, British Army.
Went up into Iraq and stayed there all the way through the war, right in front line, bombarding their Republican Guard.
After the Gulf War, John left the army thinking his HGV licence would soon land him a job. But he's found he's too young to get work as a driver and has had to look elsewhere.
Most of the jobs are like cleaning jobs, just like sewing machine overlockers and stuff like that, and they're not a good wage anyway. And I mean, what man wants to become an overlocker or a cleaner when it's mainly a woman's job? And I think it's rather stupid.
Right, Gary Campbell. He appears to put quite a lot of information on. He started off Greenfields Cartons in Middleton. That's where he, in fact, he's there now.
I'm just looking, really, to see if I can better myself in any way at all. I need to earn more money. I want to try and get married, and I cannot do it on this wage. I'm only on a £2.75 an hour.
A council road sweeper's pay, which works out at about £5 an hour, would be a big improvement.
But do you really want to sweep the streets of Manchester?
Well, preferably in an area there where people who I know wouldn't see me. But I think I'd do it.
Sweeping the streets seems like a real come down to our next candidate. Ken's a highly qualified computer draftsman and even ran his own company. But the recession's put paid to all that.
I thought I'd go quite far, but jobs started to get scarce and scarce. And Here I am today on income support.
Did you ever think that you would apply for a job as a road sweeper?
No, not in a million years. It's just out of desperation. You know, the cash is just needed.
Does it upset you?
Deeply, yeah. I never thought I'd be sweeping roads, you know, picking up other people's rubbish.
It'd be hard to beat this applicant. Philip's strong, and he worked outside in his last job, in the Royal Gardens at Windsor. But illness in the family forced him to leave, so he returned to Manchester to search for work.
I knew it'd be difficult, but I didn't think it would be this hard. Not for a young, healthy male. I want to work when I get out there, and I want to feel like I've done a day's work, and I want to get things for my family.
Some people think that the job of road sweeper is not a good job.
Lots of people who probably are working at the moment. It's all right for them to criticise, but at the moment I think it's a good job.
Our next candidate is perhaps overqualified for road sweeping. She has a degree in Latin and years of experience as a teacher. But Terry wants to escape the classroom because of the government's education reforms.
Since the introduction of the national curriculum, they've expected so much of teachers. There's so much paperwork. You have to keep very close records of all the children. I always used to say, when teaching got really bad, it would be easier sweeping the streets. I mean, that was a joke. But then this job came up and the salary wasn't bad. And I thought, well, it's no pressures. You know, you're working in a team.
Our final and youngest applicant is Ray. At 19, he should be out working with the men. Instead, he's still playing football with the boys. Since school, Ray's been a brickies labourer and a factory hand. But he was made redundant from both jobs and longs for secure work.
What would it mean to you to get this job?
It'd mean quite a lot. Because I'm under a lot of pressure at home. You know, Mum and Dad saying get a job. I've got to stay in Saturday nights. Can't really go out. So after football on Sundays, I have to come home. It's pretty depressing.
In the city of Manchester, 1 man in 5 is out of work. Nationally, unemployment is at its highest for 5 years, with nearly 2.75 million people on the dole. So, our candidates face a lot of competition in their job searches.
Yes, I'm inquiring about your job advertising in the Manchester Evening News. Security officer.
Hello, I'm just looking at the advertisement I've seen in Manchester Evening News about the security office job.
99 times out of 100, you phone and the job has been taken. So in other words, it's a waste of time writing a letter.
Oh, is it? OK, it's gone then. Thanks for that.
Oh, all right. So you'll be trained already, yeah?
When I've sent off for jobs, I've sent off for 3 and 4 at a time sometimes. So you expect a letter or something within a couple of days. And when you don't get anything, I think you get disgusted, I think, with them.
I've seen your advert about salesperson. Yeah. It's not in.
No, I don't have my own car at the moment, no. Though you do have to have a car. I see. Right, thanks for that.
I applied for over 50 of all types, like from security to truck driver to labourers. And I've had 11 interviews and come out with nothing.
Ray Booth. Ray Booth, B-O-O-T-H.
Engaged.
I try hard, and I see many people trying, because the job centre's always full. There is people out there who want to work, and they try hard to work.
Booth, B-O-O-T-H. T-H. Yeah.
Still engaged.
Down at the council depot in Grimshaw Lane, big decisions are being made. Dennis and Mark are rejecting candidates by the 100.
355, no. 356, no. 357, no. 358, no. 359, no. 360, no. Only one yes, all the rest are no's. Yeah. OK.
People have failed to show on their application forms how they could do the job. Aspiring road sweepers in Manchester can't just say they know how to use a brush. The council has 5 official requirements for the job. 1, you must be able to walk long distances. 2, bend and lift. 3, work alone or in a team. 4, know how to interpret oral instructions. And 5, understand the council's policy of equal opportunities for all people. So, have our candidates put all that on their application forms?
Just filled it in.
Did it give you any problems?
Oh, no.
He's not mentioned anything about teamwork, what experience he's had working in a team or individually.
Nothing about bending or lifting?
Nothing about bending or lifting. Certainly nothing on equal opportunities whatsoever.
And nothing on before, I think.
Nothing on oral instructions. We can only give him a yes on the walking. Anything else, he's not give us anything which will fit the criteria that we need. And without that, Mr. Ferguson's got no chance, unfortunately.
Filling up the application form for the job, how did you find that?
It's quite easy, really easy, really. It wasn't any hard questions at all.
Because he's been in the army, that involved, I mean, you're receiving and giving instructions in the army. We know that, you know, but he's not telling us that. And whether he's assuming that because it's just put army on it, that's good enough. He's got to literally say, I was in the British Army and I was doing this, that and the other. And it involved various things. And he's got to fit it in with the person's specification. And as long as he does that, then he might well be on a winner. The form needs more information on it, and he's not give us that. So unfortunately, Mr. Riley, he's going to have to be a no.
On the application form, did you put anything about the equal opportunities policy?
I don't think I put anything on it, on the form at all. No.
He hasn't mentioned equal opportunities. He hasn't mentioned anything to do with working as a team. And what he should have done is to try and relate his previous career to what we're looking for as well. Without that information, Ken has not been shortlisted.
So with Ken failing on the equality issue, only 4 of our candidates are still in the running. They filled in their forms correctly, but there's a problem. So have 35 others. Too many to interview. Now our 2 candidates already in work, Terry and Gary, are in for a shock.
We believe that disabled people and those who are out of work are more priority. And therefore, unfortunately, for the 2 cases that you've mentioned, as much as they do fit the minimum requirements, and I've no doubt they would be okay, because they are in work at the moment, they can't be considered.
I wouldn't hold it against them because, you know, I mean, I do have a job and there are so many more people that need it more than I do.
It should be based on who you are and how you are capable of doing that job, not whether you're unemployed. I'm not taking a job off somebody else because if I move to another job, my job becomes open. So if they still want a job, let them do my job on a lot less money.
Only 2 of our candidates, Ray and Philip, have been given interviews. To get to this stage, they've beaten nearly 1,400 other people. But an invitation to an interview is not a job. The hardest part is before them.
What do you think your chances are?
I think they're very good now. Now I've got the interview, yeah. Very good chance.
I'm hoping I will get it, because I could do it. I want the job badly, because I'm married, I've got 2 young children. I want to find a place to live, so I want the job.
High hopes. Now both men will be put to the test. It's the morning of the interview, and dramatic events are about to unfold at the Grimshaw Lane depot.
I think the first thing we'd better do is sort out what questions we want to do each.
There are 5 jobs and 21 men to interview.
You got to do the introduction.
Philip's first to go in.
I feel confident. I like to go in there with confidence. I don't want to go in there, you know. I want to go in there hoping I'll get the job.
Philip doesn't want the camera in his interview, so our team wish him luck and leave. Meanwhile, Ray is getting ready.
I've gone over what I think they're going to say to me. Why do you want the job? What do you think about equal opportunities? Do you think you can stick the work out? So I should have no problem.
Philip's out.
So how did it go?
Went very well, very well.
What did they ask you?
Just, have I done this type of work before? If I'm fit, because you've got to be pretty fit to the job. You know, the general questions they ask you.
And do you think you gave the right answers?
I hope I did, only time will tell.
OK, please take a seat.
Now it's Ray's turn.
Hello, Mr. Booth. Can I introduce myself? My name's Dennis Pennell. I'm the Cleansing Services Manager. This is Mark Oban, who's the Senior Inspector.
How do you do?
I do.
And to our far right, it's Ted Ford from our Personnel section. What's going to happen is that I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Take your time. There's no rush. If there's anything that you're not sure about, then obviously ask us. OK?
Could you give us some examples of when you've had to bend and lift things?
Oh yeah, when the bricklayer wants me to get some bricks for him, just bend down and pick them up, move them across for him. I mean, used to sweep up after him as well. No problem bending.
You got no problems with that?
No.
No problems with your back or anything?
No.
Fine. The next question is about equal opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, you've had a small package sent with your application form, and you should be aware that the council is an equal opportunities employer.
Yeah.
We regard that as quite important, and I'd like you to tell me why you think it's important that everybody should be treated with equal respect.
Why is it? Well, it's important because they've applied for the job. They're entitled to get it if that's acceptable.
You can give your answer as a general view as well. It doesn't have to be, you know, in relation to employment.
Yeah. Just treat him as your friend, well, as you know him. No problem with that. Treat the public as anyone else, just the same.
Well, just to extend on that, let's assume that you've been successful in getting a job with the department, and you're asked to sweep a particular road. You do it well, and then someone comes along and they drop a piece of litter, say for example a tin can, on the area that you've just swept. Now, they've done it out of ignorance rather than spite. How would you approach that person?
Just ignore him, really.
Would you not think to approach them, have a word with them, point them in the right direction?
Yeah, I'll just say, I just swept it up and it's not very nice, it's not very good what you just done that. Say it, but...
Well, just to take it a little further, you've had the chat with the person and they don't quite understand what you're talking about, perhaps because English isn't their first language. How would you tackle that situation?
I'll just put it in the bin and just forget they've done it.
Would you not think to try and demonstrate or explain any further?
Well, they don't really speak English, you know what I can do?
OK, thank you for that.
Ray's in there for exactly 13 minutes.
How was it, Ray?
It's all right. Yeah, pretty shaking a bit at first. Started talking and it was all right.
What sort of things did they ask you about?
The things I said this morning, equal opportunities. What have you done? Can you bend? How far can you walk? That was all they really asked, 4 or 5 questions.
And do you think you gave the right answers?
Well, yeah.
The interviews are over. Dennis and Mark must now decide and pick just 5 men from the 21 they've seen. Meanwhile, Ray's father, himself a council refuse collector, wants to know everything his son told the interviewers.
Just says, what do you think about it? Well, I think everyone should be given a chance. Then he says, well, what happens if you're cleaning the street and someone throws a can on the floor on purpose? So I just said...
He didn't swear, did you?
No, I just said, well...
As he talks about it, Ray feels he did well. His confidence increases.
You just done your best.
Oh, yeah. It's not a good chance anyway. To come that far anyway.
Unfortunately, Ray didn't get the job. He was very, very nervous in his interview and didn't really give us the information that we were looking for. It's a shame, but, you know, unfortunately, he just didn't give us what we wanted.
For Philip, there's a surprising outcome.
Well, Philip has been shortlisted. The problem that we have is that there are 5 jobs and we have 7 who are appointable. Now, there aren't 7 jobs that we can put all these 7 people in, so the only way we can get around that is to actually now do some random selection. It's the only way we can do it.
In other words, it's a lottery.
It's cracking. Trying to put all the numbers in.
After that complicated selection process, the hopes of Philip and the 6 other candidates end up in the office
So
bin.
we'll pull out the first 5 numbers.
Each candidate has a number. Philip is number 5.
Right, okay. Right, do you want to get a piece of paper? And then... Are we all right?
Okay.
First one going in. Number 7. Number 4. Number 6. Number 1.
Only one more to go, and number 5 is still in the bin.
Number 2.
Right.
5 numbers. That's
That's
the 5
it.
that we've picked.
Philip's lost.
It's unfortunate, but we've got 2 others that remain in the bin.
Philip came so close to success, but now all he's getting is yet another letter of rejection. He's taken it well.
I was a bit gutted in one way, but in another way, it was the fairest he could do, because there's that many went for the job. To choose it like that, I'll just keep looking for work and just hope something will come our way. I really do want to work, I want to get out there and do something.
It's now a month on from the job interview, and Philip's still looking for work. Our other candidates have been struggling too.
Evening news, please.
30 pence, please.
Tony's also unemployed.
Thank you.
He dreads the idea that at just 55 he'll never work again. Terry's still looking for a way to escape from the classroom. She's thinking about working as a gardener. John's back in uniform. He's become a security guard. He patrols offices and factories for £2.98 an hour. Ken's found work packing orange juice. It's better than nothing, but he longs for a job where he could use all his qualifications. Sadly, Gary, who didn't get an interview because he was already employed, has just lost his job. He's now looking for work urgently. And finally, Ray. The council's told him he failed his interview on 2 points. One was equal opportunities. He's still desperate for a secure job, and in the meantime, he's painting the house for his mother.
We have a stiff brush and we have a soft brush. They are used...
Down at the depot in Grimshaw Lane, it's the first day at work for the 5 who won in the job
Where
lottery.
you're working. You've got a loading shovel and you've got what we call a paddling shovel. The loading shovel, as it implies, you're loading the litter onto the wagon. The paddling shovel is a special shovel.
Only a handful have survived out of the 1,460 applicants. Men who know that in Britain today, you have to be lucky to sweep the streets.
Will have quite thick.
Subsequent to this programme, Peter did get a job. World in Action next week is on Tuesday at 8:30, when the topic of investigation is private medicine, and asks, are we safe in their hands?